Welcome back, guys. Today we will look at arrays and we will check out what those can do and how we can loop over those. So, Stefan, are you ready? Are you good to go?
Yeah, let's look into this array thing. What is it? Why do we need it? And do we do it? Let's go.
Yeah, we'll find out. Right. So this is where we left off the last time. We looked at for loops. We looked at how we can increase numbers with the plus plus or minus minus shorthand. And today it's going to be arrays. So an array can look something like this. We'll just have a variable called ARR for array short. You can, of course, as always, call it whatever you want. So an array, this is the most basic array you can have. Just curly those square braces.
Square braces.
And what makes an array great is what happens between those braces. So you can add whatever you would usually have a variable be. So imagine you would have a variable called num1 equals 1, a variable called num2 equals 2, and just so on. Well,
what was that?
I don't know. And you could keep going forever for that, and it would make your code very long and ugly to read and just not very nice overall. So instead, we can go in an array and say 1, 2, 3, 4, for example.
Okay.
And inside of our array variable here, we have...
What's happening today?
Lots of crazy things going on.
Little gizmos turning up everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, everything that we have here is going on in here, and we can that just doesn't count for numbers, but we can use whatever we want in here. Whatever you could assign a variable, we can also have an array with. So this is, for example, our numbers array, and we could also have an array of strings.
Okay.
And this could be hi, hello, and howdy, if you will.
Grazie.
And yeah, so just if you hover over that again, it tells you this is the type. So the difference here is, the type here would be a number. But this type is a number array. So it just adds the curly braces to show that this is the type. And number array like this, and this would of course then be a string array. So yeah, but now you would ask me, like, what happens if we log this to the console?
Actually, yes, this is the question I'm having.
Yeah, so if we log this array number to the console, then what happens is we just get an array back. And it's nice and all, but that's not really comparable to like this, because what if I just want this single number or this single number? Well, I can access it again with the square braces, and I have to add the index here.
Oh, okay, so a 1 would give me the 1.
So if I add a 1 here and run npm serve, then I get a 2.
Oh, okay, so array starts with a 0.
Yes, that's right. So arrays always start with a 0 right here, and then this would be if...
Yeah, 0 if I want to have the 1,
yeah.
0, okay.
0, 1, 2, 3. So this would be like basically this array. And it's a bit confusing in the beginning, but something that's, again, just the same for every programming language.
Okay.
And yeah, something to keep in mind. And yeah, So if we want to say, what if just a little quick exercise, what if I add a 5 here and I want to have the 5? What would I add here?
0, 1, 2, 4.
Yes, sir.
I wanted to say 6 at first, but
that would be going the other way around. So array starting at 2, that's not good. Right, yeah. So that's pretty much it for arrays and accessing them. But a cool thing, like I promised, we can also loop over those. And if we take our beloved for loop again, I can start again going I equals 0. And in the end, I will need my I++. And the thing is here, while my I is smaller than my array number, but it gives me an error here. And it doesn't apply. But we're getting a nice little shorthand here as well. And what we can do is if we console.log again, and let's comment this out as well. What we can do is just get our array.length. And if we print that, then it's giving us a 5 because this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items in it.
Gets me the number of items.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Call them. Okay.
Yeah. So that's also something that you have to keep in mind here is that it doesn't start at 0. So maybe you would have expected it to give you back an 4 because it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 items. But no. It just for the length, it actually counts the proper number of items, which is 5 in this case.
Why to choose the 0 as the starting point for?
That's a very good question. That's something that probably happened
because
dozens of years ago.
I get that he's telling me there are 5 items in it because there are 5 items in it. But why not start with the counting as the first one? Because it's the first item. It's the number 1 item is the 1. It's not the 0th item.
I mean, I totally agree with you. And I'm not sure if there's a good reason for it. I think it's probably just something that always was this way in computer science and every programming language.
Don't change that.
Yeah. What I like though is that it's like this for every programming language. It would be very annoying to have it like switch between programming languages. So at least you just have to memorize it once that arrays start at 0 and then just accept it. Yeah. So, okay, now that we know what we can do here, we can just say array.length and now it doesn't complain anymore. So in here, we can also console.log, for example, if we want every single item printed out, then we can say array number at, what do you think goes in here?
I have no idea. I'm actually a little bit lost.
So for example, if we want to get the first number, we would add a 0 in here.
Okay, okay. So I didn't get the question. You just wanted to print out any of those?
No, I want to print out all of those. But if I have just my 0 in here,
then I did understand the question correctly. I just
so I get 1 5 times because the array is 5 long.
So you want to have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So
what can
okay, let's just let my brain work for a second.
Yeah.
And hope it's winning. So we do have the constant I. It's a 0 as long as 0 is smaller than the length as 5. I want to increase that number. Okay, my brain stopped working actually. It's like, I really have no idea. I'm totally lost.
Okay.
Enlighten me.
So,
what's happening there?
if we look up here,
Yeah.
what happens with our our index, is that it's getting increased every single
every
turn.
time.
So if we just, let's
okay, I is smaller than 5 because our number dot length right now
so
would
if we
be
print I, for example, here,
Yeah.
just one sec, then we get, like, you remember, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And our index,
yes, because we get the index number, not
Yeah.
the actual number.
so this is basically the numbers relating to the array.
Yes.
So if we go in here, array number, what do we put in here?
An I?
Yes, perfect. So if we add
I
the
just
I,
guessed, to be honest.
we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that, of course,
Okay, what's...
so if we get back our array strings here, and instead of array number, we say
okay, now I get it.
array
Because
strings.
first thing this console log takes is the 0. It's smaller than 5, printing
Yes.
the 1. The next, then it's incremented to 1, sorry, because first we have 0, then it's 1. 1 still smaller than 5. We get to 2 and so forth until we go we get to number 4, which also is smaller than 5, and then it would be incremented again. 4 gets 5. 5 is not smaller than the length itself. It's 5, so it's not printing out.
Yeah. So the array stops before.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So if I print this, then if I change the strings, here the array is just 3 long, so I is getting only increased to 2, because 0, 1, and 2. Then if I run this, then I should be getting hi, hello, and howdy.
Yeah.
And again, if I print my I with it, I can see 0, 1, and 2.
Yeah.
So this is 0, 1, and 2 right there. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense. So if I want to have all the items in the array, this is the way to go. If I want to have, I don't know, the first 2 items, then this wouldn't work, of course. And we had to...
If you know, for example, that you have 3, or if you just don't want the last item, you can just go in here, because what this is just, because array.length in this case is just 3, if you remember, right?
Yeah, right.
So I can just say -1, and then if I run it again, I just get hi and hello.
Yeah. And if I just wanted to have the first 2 items in an array, I would just A is smaller than 1, right?
What do you mean I is smaller than 1?
If I just, if I'm just me thinking.
If you just want the first,
I
the
just
2.
want to say, okay, I have an array here, just print out the first 2 things in this array.
Yeah.
Then I would say I is smaller than 1, and I would get the first 2 things, whatever is in there.
Yeah, that's very correct. So if I say, for example,
then
aloha,
for me, then I understand what's happening here. Okay, aloha.
So what I was gonna say is that if I add another entry here, another item, then my solution right here just doesn't print the last one.
Yes.
And just for the viewer back home, what Stephan proposed was that he always, doesn't matter how many items are in here, you always want only the first 2, right?
Yeah. Well, not always. Just in this case, I just want to.
Yeah.
I don't know a use case for that to be.
No, there could be some use cases. Like there's so many things that you never know when you need something. So you can just say smaller than 2.
Smaller than 2.
And you get hi and hello.
Yeah. What do I have to write there when I just have the last 2 items in an array?
So that depends a bit on how long your
correct, because I
array
don't know maybe how long it is.
Yeah, but in this case, that's maybe a bit above what we want to do today.
Okay, so that's a little bit more complicated.
Yes.
Okay,
but if we know that this array is for long, and So let's go again with array.strings.length, or we can just say, because we know that it has 4 items, so it has a length of 4.
Mm-hmm.
We can just, and we always want the last 2, we can just start a 2 here.
Oh, of course, yes. Okay.
So we get howdy and aloha. And then,
so in this case, we would have write some code that first we want to know how long is the array, and then we need to tell them, okay, just take that number, go 2 steps before that, and then go. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, just trying to get the whole.
Yeah, so you could say, for example, if you know, just always want it with array strings, you can say array strings.length. In this case, that's howdy and aloha, and you can say here this equals array strings.length -2. And then if I'm not wrong, we should always get it. Yeah. So this is what you meant, right?
Yeah, so not that
so
hard.
If we say moin, for example, here, German greeting for our viewers.
Yeah, great.
Then we get aloha and moin. Yeah, okay. Sorry, then I misunderstood in the beginning a bit. But yeah, that's...
Oh, okay. So you just let Oh, no. I get it. Yeah.
So that's like...
I love that. That's just working like this. I know it sounds crazy maybe, but that's just so nice.
Yeah, and always, also we can, like, if we go back for 1 second to the basics right here.
Screw the basics.
It gets cool though. Just give me a second.
No, that's great.
Then I is smaller than array strings.length and I ++, then console.log. Right, so this just, as we expect, it just prints out our entire array, right? A cool thing we can do also is if we change things up a bit. So if we go -, then right now that would give me an error, because if I, for example, say the first iteration, it will be -1 after the first iteration. So if I go, for example, .log and say arrays, whatever, array number and -1, then it gives me undefined, because there is no -1. There's nothing before here. That just doesn't exist.
Would there be a scenario where I would go into the negative direction with an array?
No, because there's no elements there. But what I want to show you here is we can change things up a bit. So we can say I equals array length -1, and I is bigger than 0. Then what happens now is we've basically printed it out in reverse. So we start from moin, aloha, howdy, hello, and hi.
Oh, okay.
Because our array length is 5, and because, of course, or in this case 1, 2, 3. No, it's 5, and index 5 is right here, but we don't have it. We have to add -1, so we're here at 4. Because if you remember, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we just reduce it. We have 4, and then we do -1 with 3, then 2, then 1, then 0. And after that, we're smaller than 0, then we don't count it.
Okay.
No. Or, sorry, this should be equals, because right now we're missing the high, if you see it. Because there's still an index 0. Yeah, I just noticed as well.
Yeah.
And we get the high as well. So that's just like little things that you can do.
Okay.
Very handy.
So again, my casual questions. What do you use arrays for? What use cases are out there in the tech world to use an array?
Oh, there's a lot of use cases for arrays. Like,
I'm sure about that, but just name one, simple one.
For example, you can have different users in an array. That would look a bit different than just like the numbers here, but instead of numbers, you could have like for user management case,
Okay.
you could have users in here. Just like something on the top of my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And whoops, there you go. So right, there's one more thing I want to talk about, and that's you can also change what's in here.
Okay.
So if I, for example, let's comment this out for 1 sec. Oh, yeah, let's comment this out. And let's say that I don't like that my that this says hello, but I would rather have it say hello.
Yeah.
Then
which is German for hello.
Then I can access it at index 1, if you remember.
Yeah.
And just have hello here.
Oh, okay.
That's just how replacing it works. So that would be the same as using if I have our number here, and let's say this is let. So with let, you can actually change it and have our number 1 be 5, for example. That's just basically the same thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, we can also, of course, do that, as you might expect, in a loop. And let's print if we print our array first, and then that just says those now. Oh, array strings, sorry. That just would give me this array as an array. And I can come in here and say array strings at I equals hello, because I want to change every single one to hello.
Ah, okay.
So I can go in here and say,
but why?
Just,
I know.
Why not?
Because I can. Okay.
Then instead of having all those individual entries, you can just have hello everywhere.
Okay.
And like, of course, this is not a use case like you just said. Why? That's
Maybe
not something.
But yeah, okay.
That's not something you want to do, like directly change it here. But maybe you would call a function that says change username based on whatever parameter you give it. Right? So this can be a lot of different use cases to change every entry in there. And yeah, those are the basics of arrays.
Can I look for the content of an index?
What do you mean, the content of an index?
Just again, straight out of my head, I have an array and I want to know is how many times there's the word hello in it, for example.
So you want to, for example,
I have an array full of data,
okay.
and I just want to know, okay, take every hello and just replace it with an hello.
So if, let's say, for example, here in this array, I have hello at this position and at this position, and you want to replace only those two with hello, for example. Right, so I can go in here and I have, if you remember our good old friends, the if condition, I can say if my array strings at I is equal to hello, then array strings at I is equals hello. So if we run this again, then you can see here
now
the hello
it's coming
and
together everything.
Yeah.
That's okay.
So you have to all combine it a bit. And yeah.
Okay.
That's pretty much how you do it.
Just thinking, you have an array, for example, for nicknames, I don't know. and you want to change them because the nickname changed over time. So you would do it like that. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And can I get how many times the word, in this case, hello, is in a string?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to figure it out yourself, or do you want me to tell you? So right now we only have hello.
That's what you're here for.
Okay, so we don't have hello. We have hello. Let's just check for how many hellos there are in our array, right? That's what you want. So you want to...
yeah, because I was asking for hello because you just changed it with a for loop.
Okay, so what we want to do there is have a constant, say, for example, counter that equals 0, and we can just keep this here, and instead of changing the value, we can just say plus plus counter, and on here we can print our counter. So this has it 2 times. If I add another one right here, then without changing anything else in this code, which is quite cool, I get 3. So that's pretty much arrays. And
one question: can I just delete? I don't know. For example, I want to delete every hello in an array. Can I do that?
That's manipulating arrays. So there's also ways that I can, after this array is created, I can add entries to it. I can remove entries.
But it's not with the code we just learned.
Yeah, that's like a bit...
That's really going deeper, right?
Yeah, that's going a bit deeper, and nothing for today. Maybe we'll look at it next time, maybe the time after that.
Okay.
Just a bit of a teaser for you.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, that's arrays for you. All right, so those were arrays.
Okay,
and
great.
Stephan will meet those guys next time.
Thanks again, and have a great day. See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.